Hi, this is Travis with Holden Advisors, and this is the first video in a series of videos that are going to outline the 10 rules in pricing with confidence. Pricing with Confidence is a book that's been in circulation for 10 years now and still has very relevant points for helping improve your pricing practice. So the first rule in pricing with confidence is replace the discounting habit with a little bit of arrogance. I'm going to start by telling you a story that some of you may be familiar with. I recently received a letter from Netflix that indicated that I was going to receive a price up, and if I had any questions, I should give them a call. And so I did. I wanted to see how much wiggle room there was in their pricing. And it turns out there's not a lot. In my call, I asked for a discount. I talked about being a valued customer for many years. I reminded them that price ups have not always been very successful with Netflix, and in the end I threatened to cancel. The agent who took my call was very gracious and listened to all of my concerns. He talked to me about the unique value that Netflix provides in its original content, as well as the mobile app that allows me to watch Netflix from any location. But in the end, he acknowledged that if I wanted to cancel, he could help me with that. Now, was he arrogant in the sense that he was better than me or trying to gloat over me? No, but he was confident in his price and in the product that he delivered, to the point where he felt, hey, if you're going to do business with Netflix and with my company, then we're going to have a say in what those terms are. So just a consideration, how would your conversation with your customers be if you had that level of confidence in your pricing and in the products and services you deliver? So I think it's worth noting that the first rule is replace the discounting habit with a little bit of arrogance. It's first for a reason. When we work with a lot of companies, we do a lot of pricing, and one of the things that we find is that no matter how good our analysis is or how accurate the models might be, if there is a culture or a habit of discounting within the organization, it's not going to improve your pricing. Your customers are still going to dictate what your prices are. So it's significant that replacing that discounting habit is one of the first things that you need to do if you're going to improve your pricing. So if you're not sure if you have a discounting problem, here's a simple analysis that you can run. It's a scatter plot. It's one that you've probably run before. It's a scatter plot of your customers with the price per unit on the left and the volumes along the bottom. And as you'll expect, you usually see a downward sloping line. As volumes increase, the price per unit goes down. But what we're really looking for is the variance around that line, particularly in the low volume accounts. And this is where we see a lot of variation and often see customers in low volume paying less than some of your largest accounts, even by 10 times more in volume. So this is where you start to see a lot of pricing, what we call as a lack of pricing integrity. And there's just discounting all over the place to get these people to a variety of different points. So the question to ask yourself is, if your high value, your key accounts, your large accounts saw this graph and they saw what some of these low volume accounts were paying, what do you think that they would be asking for? What kind of pressure would they be applying to you? So here's another example. We worked with a customer who felt like, or a client that felt like they had really good pricing structure and not a lot of discounting. And so we ran the scatter plot, and sure enough, the line was fairly straight. The variation was pretty tight. But we added another variable just to kind of take it one step further, and that was the list price. And what we found was really interesting. The actual price was almost exactly 10% lower than the list price, which happened to coincide with the discount allowance of the sales force. So yes, the sales force was only discounting 10%, but in almost every case, they were giving away the full 10%. So it just shows that there are different assessments that we can run to determine what is the discounting habit of our organization and where is this discounting happening. So if you're not sure where to begin in fixing this problem and improving your pricing or your discounting habit, here are a few steps. First, admit that there's a problem or something you need to address. Second, establish some rules of engagement. What is our structure around discounting? And third, be willing to walk away from unprofitable customers. So if we start to acknowledge that we have a discounting problem, it allows us to look at our customers and our pricing more objectively. And you can start to see patterns. Is there lower prices based on region? Is it based on product? Is it based on time of year, time of month? Maybe this is a month end or quarter end discounting that we're seeing. Sometimes it's by salesperson or sales team, and there might be some additional training that needs to happen to help people understand what the value is in the pricing structure that you have. So this is the first thing to do, is to do that assessment, and then to start to set up some rules of engagement. Where is pricing inappropriate? Where is pricing too steep? Where do we not need to price? Markets where we're more differentiated, or where competition is low, and start to set up your discounting rules of engagement. But most importantly, it's important that you're willing to walk away from unprofitable customers. If you have set up good rules of engagement, we find that actually very few of your customers will leave. They recognize the value, they recognize that doing business with you still improves and impacts their organization, and they will continue to do so even at an improved price. But by showing that firmness in your price and that unwillingness to just give discounts across the board, it communicates to your customers that you have confidence in your price, and that they're not going to be the one customer who's paying too much for your products and services just because they didn't ask for a discount. So if you're still hesitant about being more confident and holding off on the discounts, here's a simple hint. Start with some of your costly customers, these low volume customers that are paying the lowest prices. These customers are probably costing you anyway. So they're customers that need to be cleaned up or removed from your customer base. So start there, move the prices up, have that confidence and being willing to walk away, and see what happens. Build your confidence so that you know that when it comes down to defending your price, you can do so with just a little bit of arrogance. Enough to say that when people start pressing on price, your immediate reaction is not going to be to turn to a discount. I hope this video was helpful. Stay tuned for the rest of the videos in Pricing with Confidence. And if you have any comments or examples you'd love to share with us, we'd love to hear them. Thank you.